Yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb Rowe. How are you?
I'm pretty shocked right now. As you could
Come closer.
pretty shocked right now, as you could probably imagine.
Let me start this conversation by saying you've already seen too much. If you think you're going to be leaving this room, this building, be hollow, alive, well, I'm sorry there, Caleb. I think you already know the answer to that. But you don't have to die today there, Caleb.
What's that in there?
Tell me, what division do you work in within the FIB?
Data Analyst, Counterintelligence.
You see that room to my left?
Yeah.
He actually wants your job to mean something and do something impactful. And I guess we'll see where this conversation leads there, Caleb. Stand in front of me. I know you know about the Faceless, but I know that you don't know the people beside me. And a lot of people think they should fear people like me, or Charlie, or the people putting the strings, are the ones sitting beside me, to my left, and to my right. Why do you think you're here, Caleb?
Like you said, I know something I shouldn't. I went digging into things that I didn't know what they were, and by the time I figured it out, it was probably way too late.
Let me stop you. Like I said, you work for the FIB. So you know that you're not speaking to a group. You are speaking to a mechanism. And you know that we don't compete for power. We decide where power flows in these cities. So, when something buried starts to surface again, we don't ask why. Instead, we ask who touched it. So, Caleb, just know you haven't done anything wrong. That's important for you to understand before we continue. You followed your FIB procedure. You stayed inside your lane. You accessed what your clearance allowed. That's why this matters. We already know what you've accessed. Be careful who you talk to there, Caleb. If you don't realize by now, we have people everywhere. 10 years ago, the FIB building was bombed. That case was closed. The files were buried. And yet, you opened them, Caleb. Not all at once. Not in one day. But you just kept returning. All timestamps, repeated course references, and a certain name that appears and disappears and then appears again. Talon. So, let's be efficient. Let's skip the whole aggressiveness of this conversation, you know what we can do. We don't care about your theories. We don't care about your conclusions, Caleb. We don't care about what you think happened. We care about one thing. The person who led that investigation. The person writing those reports. You see, we want the person who followed Talon past the FIB blast site. You saw it, so you're going to say it. But before you do, just know that you're still useful. For now.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Caleb. I understand you were just hosting a seminar, so you're not afraid to talk. So talk.
The person's name you're referencing, the person you're talking about with Talon, is Roman Gray. And like a lot of other people probably thought that he was just lost in the rubble, but he wasn't just another name that was lost in that rubble. He survived that bombing 10 years ago, and they buried that. They hid that. They hid his existence in that rubble, and I found it. I was going through things. Look, everything has a purpose. We all know that here. I'm sure. There's a reason things are buried, and of course it grabbed my attention. And in a hidden cold sector, those archives, no tags, no logs. It was just a trail of encrypted journals and transmissions, things flagged, put aside, important communications. And they were all tied to one thing, one obsessive investigation. And, he was hunting Talon. He was hunting who he thought was responsible for that blast, and who we all thought, the Bureau thought. And what I don't understand is somewhere along the way, he just started investigating you guys too.
Roman Gray, you said.
Yeah.
What else did you find, Caleb? Because we already know what you said to one of our insiders.
Well, one of the very last things I found or kind of dug through before us talking here was some sort of object. It wasn't like the way he wrote about it. It didn't strike me as something that was like modern or tactical, like an uplink, some sort of device. It was like ancient. You know what I mean? Like it was prized, but not something that you could just manufacture today or get another one of.
And these are stated in said files, Caleb.
There's more. Yeah. I haven't, like I said, this is kind of the last thing that I had gotten to in my digging, in my breaking down of all this stuff and analyzing. I don't know where. I haven't gotten that deep. I don't know what archives, where they would have buried that stuff, because it's not with the others.
You kept digging on old investigations led by a man named Roman Gray, who was supposedly dead 10 years ago. And in your digging, you're telling me you found documents regarding Talon and certain objects. Is that what you're saying there, Caleb?
Yes. That's what he referenced, like I said, in these communications and the journals and stuff that I had dug through. And obviously what grabbed my attention was the fact that I was under the impression that Roman Gray, by going through the records, is dead. But then I came across files where past the supposed date of his death, there was investigations involving him still, and that's where those were buried. Like I said, I'm pretty sure what they did here, and it's pretty obvious, is that they faked his death in some manner. That, they tried to wash him and maybe give him a new identity or something. I don't know that part. I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't gotten that deep, but they definitely faked his death. He was not dead at that point, and continued investigating things related to Talon. And then, I don't know, somewhere along the line, he must have been tasked or chose, I don't know, to start looking into the Faceless.
You're telling me a dead man was tasked to look into the Faceless? When you say look into, what does that mean, Caleb? Before you answer, because I feel like you are holding things back, I told you, you've already seen the hollow. And the beauty about this building is there is no mercy, only consequences. Everybody and anybody that enters this hollow understands what is expected and how we operate. Your life is already over, Caleb. There's no more FIB work for you. But that doesn't mean your work is finished. Like I said, look to the room to my left. So again, when you said this man got tasked to look into the Faceless, what does that mean?
Look, somebody in the fucking bureau clearly burned me. Somebody burned me, okay? Somebody turned and stabbed a knife in my back. So I don't really give a fuck. I'm not going to sit here and sacrifice my life, what is left of it, for any of those people. I don't care anymore. I've told you guys too much as it is. There is no future after this day. I had to make a decision. By looking into, when I looked through these journals, it looks like he was tasked with either an undercover assignment or some sort of infiltration. I don't know at what level. I don't know what position or anything. Obviously, that would be for you guys to figure out, but that's all I know.
Did you just say infiltration?
Yes, sir.
Roman Gray. Any family members? Any known locations to find this dead man?
Yeah, I looked into him. As far as locations, I haven't gotten there yet, but he does have family. And Amanda, and she was the wife of a different weapons engineer that works in like the Department of Defense or somewhere, for the government. And his name's David Miller, and those are the only two other names that I could find associated.
Sorry, repeat that one more time.
Yeah. He had a family member named Amanda. I don't know what relation, but she was the wife of a DOD, like a government employee, a weapons engineer named David Miller. So I'm guessing that might have been like maybe his brother-in-law or something, because he was related to Amanda.
Amanda Miller. What if I told you I killed David Miller? And somehow Amanda survived? You're saying Roman Gray is related to this Amanda individual?
Yeah, like I said, I from what I could gather, and don't take this to heart, I have to do some more digging. I think it's his daughter. I'm pretty positive. By the age difference and the way that they communicated, I'm pretty sure it was his daughter. But, could have been sister.
Stand outside.
Yes, sir.
Falcon, I need you to stand outside too. You're not privy to this intel. Falcon, take Caleb and follow me.
Watch the door with me and
Caleb,
Yes, sir.
for the next 48 hours, you are not going to have any contact with anybody. You're going to be alone with your thoughts. You're not even going to have any food. Use these next 48 hours wisely. Either you die, or you make your intelligence actually mean something. Let's go.
Damn. I wish I wasn't the Faceless. They're too badass. This is like literally what Lang always wanted, like Talon to be like at this efficiency, you know? Those crazy loyal agents fucking
Die for the cause. Super anonymous.
Falcon,
yes, sir.
Shaw's gonna give you a new operation. Objectives to find Amanda Miller. We find Amanda. We find Roland. And we extract all the information he knows about Talon and artifacts. Is that clear?
Understood.
Good work today.
This is a special news report from Los Santos Radio. I'm John Stevens, and we bring you the latest update on the explosion that rocked the city 1 week ago. It has been 1 week since the shocking and deadly explosion that completely destroyed the FIB building in downtown Los Santos. Authorities have confirmed that the blast resulted in multiple casualties and widespread damage, leaving the city shaken and in disbelief. The blast, which occurred early last Thursday morning, was so powerful that it leveled the entire structure, with debris scattering across several city blocks. Emergency responders worked tirelessly to pull survivors from the rubble, but so far, there has been no official word on the exact number of fatalities. In a disturbing turn of events, the terrorist group known as Talon has claimed responsibility for the attack. In a chilling message sent to local media and authorities, Talon declared that the destruction of the FIB building was just the beginning of a larger mission aimed at destabilizing the city's government forces. This message has sent shockwaves through both law enforcement and the public. Talon, a previously unknown group, has now emerged as a serious threat with their aggressive tactics and ominous plans. The city remains on high alert, and authorities are urging residents to stay vigilant and report any suspicious activity. But beyond the chaos and fear, the explosion has also devastated families. I had the opportunity to speak with Amanda, a local resident whose father was killed in the blast. Here's what they had to say.
I lost my father last week. He was just doing his job, working at the FIB. He didn't deserve this. No one deserves this. He was a good man, good father. And now, he's gone. He's gone forever and I can't have him back. I just want to know why. Why did they have to do this? Why did they have to take so many lives?
So, her father survived. He wasn't dead. The father supposedly infiltrated the Faceless. The father obsessed with Talon and researching. Roman Gray.